Now, let's talk Summer Game Fest. So this is a completely different show, but worth mentioning because there were some titles there that I'd love to run through. The first one that popped up was Lego Horizon Adventures. Did that do anything for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's Lego. Like, it could be fun. Like, maybe one of these days, I could play that. Like, this is the type of game I would play with my daughter. Like, just sit, like that would be kind of fun. Just kind of like play something like this. But this is something that I don't think I would spend my money on unless it was like a Game Pass title. It's just like, nah, it's just gonna be
funny you should say that, because that's the one console it's not going to, because they're giving this to the Switch, to PC, to PlayStation. Xbox is the one that it's not going to come to.
Okay, that's because Sony doesn't play nice with Xbox when Xbox plays nice with Sony, and this is Horizon Zero Dawn, people.
Exactly. So one of the things with the other Lego games, or isn't part of the fun like the giant cast of characters that you switch into and can play as with different characters? Horizon doesn't have this giant eclectic group of characters to play.
I don't even want to be Aloy.
Exactly. So these Lego games, I would say play with your daughter any number of Lego games that are out that you can play now, and skip this one. Boring. They look boring.
For me, Fortnite is scratching that Lego itch pretty good, so I'm fine. I'm definitely out on this one. Next up, we have Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, and Maulding as the local Harry Potter aficionado.
My dog's name is Dobby, for God's sake.
I know. I went camping with you, and you stayed in the tent the whole time, finishing the last book, and you wouldn't even come look at the sunset.
I know, because I've seen a sunset before, but I hadn't read the end of Harry Potter.
That is so
I will go to my grave screaming that,
and you will go to your grave with me making fun of you for doing that.
Absolutely fine. So I think this is the reason why we didn't have Quidditch in the Hogwarts game, and it looks so unfun to me. It just does not look like a game I would ever want to pick up. It also, graphics wise, looks like a PlayStation 3, maybe PlayStation 4 game.
This thing was looking in the same vein as Lego. Like they were obviously like shaking hands because it was not up to snuff. When I saw it, I was like, oh. The only thing that could be cool is if they nail the speed at which you go on your broom. That would be the only thing that's the saving grace of this game, but I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah, no. I'm no interest here. But the next game did kind of catch my eye, and that was CuffBust. Now, this comes from the same single guy developer that did Choo Choo Charles. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but that was the indie game that kind of put him on the map. And he's big on YouTube as well, with the train that turns into a spider. And it just had a very unique look, and he's a very charismatic and nice person online. And now he's got this really interesting, teddy bears escaping jail heist multiplayer game, completely different. What did you guys think?
Yeah, it's Fall Guys mixed with Among Us, kind of like little sassy teddy bears. I think it has a cool concept. I think it could be fun. Could it last, for a long time? I don't know, but for a few months, you'd have a lot of fun with it.
I love that it's one guy that put this together. That is super impressive. It's not a game I would ever be interested in playing, but yeah, great for people who want to play it. Love that.
I'm definitely in. But speaking of games I will never play, the next one, Metaphor Re Fantazio. It comes from the people behind Persona, which really well received and a huge series. And it looks, what did you guys think?
I think it looks cool.
It looks like Persona. I mean,
it looks 100% like
all
Persona.
All the assets look exactly the same.
It's completely different, though, because you're not personas, you're archetypes. And so it's obviously a different game here.
I know.
Totally different game. I think this game screams grind, though. I got to say, I can just tell you're going to be grinding like how you had to in Persona with your monsters. And that's the one part of those games that always hangs me up because it's just a little too much for me.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. It's if I want to play Persona, I'm going to play Persona. Even the menus look exactly the same. Just call it Persona then. Don't try to bait and switch me.
But isn't this one they're making for Xbox, so it's not PlayStation? So they're
Sure,
trying to.
whatever.
It's totally different.
It's fine.
Totally different.
Totally different.
All right. Speaking of something that was definitely different from that, Delta Force Hawk Ops and Black Hawk Down Campaign. What'd you guys think of this one?
This looks actually cool. Like this had Rainbow Six Siege vibes. I love that, and it's more of it looked like PvE to me. There could be some PvP at some point, but I liked how you kind of were planning with your fellow teammates and like executing a plan. I think that's really cool. It has like and the Black Hawk Down variation is sort of like the take on the movie, and I love that movie. So like, let's go. That could be actually cool. I thought that was a good showing.
Yeah, I really liked that they licensed the movie and they were like recreating scenes from the movie. It seemed very dedicated. It's really interesting looking.
I'll just play Call of Duty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think unfortunately most people will too. But one thing I won't be touching is the Blumhouse Games. This is a small suite of looked like mobile games that was introduced that are being produced by the Blumhouse horror movie team. Did you guys see this? Any thoughts here?
All those looked exactly the same to me.
Were they supposed to be scary? Like
I think so.
They
I don't know.
made this like a big production about how they're supposed. Don't be careful; it might scare you. And it's just like a black pixel showing up behind a white pixel, and I'm like, that's not scary. That's not.
Well,
no,
their movies
no,
aren't
hard
scary,
pass.
and that's my problem with them is that their movies pander to PG-13 preteens. Their movies are awful, and now they I don't know why they have the name that they have because they don't know anything about being scary. Their movies have no gore, no nudity. Like I want some boobs and ass and stuff, and I want some slaughters and neck. I want gore and graphic violence, and they don't have any of that fun stuff. And so their games look like they've been neutered as well. It was just really PG crap that didn't need to be there. And you know what? I guess whatever. I don't like their movies, and I don't even care about their games.
I'm assuming they're gonna package this in like a 6-part bundle, right? Like, there's no way you're buying these individually.
I don't know. They all look like mobile games to me.
It looked jank. I wasn't very unimpressed.
Speaking of games that didn't look jank, though, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. That looked phenomenal. What did you guys think?
Agreed. Looked awesome.
Sure.
Graphics looked great.
About it, right? Yeah.
I thought, we just said that was like kind of an undercover one. I think it has a fun concept with kind of like the two leads kind of have like a funny dynamic, and it wasn't like the quirky, stupid humor that we keep seeing everywhere. So I liked that a lot. I think it could be fun.
I agree. I think it looks gorgeous. I want to love it. I've never been able to get into the combat, so I'm curious to see if they fixed that for this one.
Yeah, they'll probably make it a lot easier, I bet, and more accessible.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Moving on, there was a Batman game.
I wanted to talk about this because
the Quest game. Is that what this was?
Yeah. I can't believe they're putting out a Batman game in the line of Arkham Knight and Arkham Asylum, and I think this is a straight up sequel to Arkham City, maybe, and that they're putting it on VR. Like, I'm really happy and excited for the 20 people that are going to get to play it, but I think it's a huge mistake for them to do that. So I was really disappointed. It was my biggest disappointment out of both the shows was to see that this was a VR game.
Yeah, bummer.
Always an oof.
Yeah. But speaking of things that were a nice surprise, I think Alan Wake 2, the physical edition coming this fall, as well as the DLC of Night Springs 3 chapters that do incorporate the other characters from the Alan Wake and Remedy verse, I guess, with Control. And then we saw Sean Ashmore from Quantum Break. Yeah, so that was kind of cool to see them, making their Remedy verse and seeing that come in the DLC. Did you guys play Alan Wake 2? Any interest on this one?
Didn't play Alan Wake 2. I know I had a bone to pick with them not releasing it on physical because I probably would be more likely to pick it up then. But man, that digital only drop that's a thorn in my side. I did not like that. So they're kind of making it right with this release, and I might pick it up.
Maulding?
Yeah, I've heard such great things about it, but it's really not on my radar. Eventually, when it comes to Game Pass, I'll probably play it.
I was strategically waiting for this. It came out last October, so I was like, great, I'm going to wait a year and I'm going to pick it up half priced when it comes this October. But now I think I'm going to be screwed because they are going to probably release it bundled with the DLC, and then they're going to try and charge me $70. And I might fish, I don't know. But it's like, oh man, I was waiting for you to drop your price, and now you're just adding content and keeping your price the same. Crap, you foiled again.
Foiled.
Yeah. So, I mean, it looks great, and I look forward to playing it someday when I can get it for cheap. But speaking of games that were cheap and we played the hell out of, is Palworld coming back with an update. Lots of content on this new island, and there's an arena and new boss. What did you guys think? Are you back in?
It could take me back. I know I played a lot with you guys resetting my character over and over again, but hey, I'm ready to do the exact same, jumping back in there and checking out. I think it sounds like they've put in a lot. They've done a lot, so it could be fun to see what happens. Maulding?
I'll be a filthy casual. I'll jump back in, try it again, and then bounce right back out like I did before.
Yep. I'm probably going to be the exact same way. I think hopefully this arena takes care of the problem where you know, in order to level up your pals, you had to catch lower level pals and get the XP that way and do some fighting and stuff like that. But I caught all the lower level pals, so I couldn't upgrade my, Pokemon or pals or whatever. And so hopefully this arena helps solve that problem. Plus it does have PvP in this arena, I hear, so we'll be able to like take each other on. It could be pretty fun.
That's cool.
Next up is Skate.
Yeah,
Lord, I know this is your
one.
game.
I loved the first 3 skates on the 360. I played the heck out of them. Actually, this is probably one of those games I should have said is one of the games just to relax to. It was so much fun just to go in and skate around.
Sounds a little bit more relaxing than Red Dead Redemption 2,
yeah, it probably is. It probably is.
And Elden Ring.
Yeah. I was just like, yeah, especially that one. I was a little bit thrown off by the skit that they pulled off. I don't even know what the actor's name is. He's a comedian. He is usually really funny. Tim Robinson. And it was like 4 minutes of just kind of like random, just like him talking. I don't know. It was a miss. But then they showed what looks to be like an MMO skateverse in this city. And I have to say that is what this game has been needing from the day one. It could be a little too late to release something like this because they probably needed this 10 years ago, but I'm still going to play it. This is something that really is up my alley. I love skate. So I'm going to be checking this one out, guaranteed. Even if it's not on Game Pass, I'll be picking it up. Well, which is a bold statement, I know, but I love it. It, as long as they don't do anything crazy with like a renewing service, which I kind of think they might do. Like if it's going to be an MMO style, I feel like there's going to be some sort of microtransaction situations going on.
Yeesh.
Yikes.
Well, we'll look forward to your review, but I'm not touching it. Moving on, Valorant and the beta.
Yes, I guess this jumps back to me again because I liked Valorant I do like Valorant on the PC. It's very sweaty. I think there's always going to be an advantage to keyboard and mouse players because it's just a Twitch shooter, just like a Counter-Strike. So I'm hoping everybody is staying. It's not cross-plat, but I will be definitely checking this one out. I think Valorant was really fun, and I think it has more of a console feel to it. So I think it's going to find a nice home on console, and I'm excited for this one.
I'm looking forward to
I'll
your
try
review.
it out. Yep.
Yeah, and so that pretty much wraps up the bigger games from the Summer Games Fest show. Didn't really have any super huge announcements. There were, I mean, it's such a home for third parties, and I just didn't see some of the bigger games. Although the biggest surprise I have to say when it came to the show for me was the celebrity and star power contained in Supercell's commercial for their mobile game Squad Busters. Did you guys see this? It had like Chris Hemsworth and Kim Jong and like a whole bunch of like huge celebrities that were like advertising this game. I was like,
they were wearing like crazy outfits, right?
Yeah. And,
okay.
Will Arnett, like, I don't know. It was just, I was like, what the hell is this? A paid spot, of course. Like they probably forked over their $250,000 because they're making so much money over there at Supercell, hand over fist, because that's where everyone puts up with microtransactions. So that was the biggest shocker of the show for me. But overall,
that was a $15 million commercial at the bare minimum for them to shoot that.
Right.
That's
I couldn't
insane.
believe it. I mean, I'm like, they must be making so much money that they can just...
further proof that video games low-key make just so much money. The general public does not understand. They don't. It's just, it's making so much money behind the scenes. It's insane.
But and those are dirty mobile games too. Like it's just dirty money. Dirty money. Damien Hemsworth. Okay, so overall, just to sum up the show, what did you guys think, and what was your best of show?
Maulding, you go first.
We had, I think you and I had the same one. It's the first Descendant. And to be honest, I watched this show a couple days ago, and I cannot remember anything about the first Descendant. But I did note that it was my best of show. I think it was like a very sci-fi-ish. He had like a spacesuit on.
Yes.
I don't know.
In the river.
Had
environments that looked like Death Stranding, so major points in my book.
So you gotta so I also had Once Human originally marked as my best of show, and there was a PC only game. Again, I can't remember what game that was either. So first Descendant, and I give the game the show a D-. It was very forgettable. The whole thing was just forgettable. I won't even remember. Like I can't remember what my favorite game was. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, Maulding. I think the first Descendant is something that took the biggest swing for the fences, so I'm therefore most excited for that. I thought the graphics looked really actually great in that one. We need to get some more gameplay in that ASAP to kind of solidify our top pick. But I gave the showing a D+ because they tried. Like they tried to show something. It obviously didn't pan out like they thought it was. Because it got fried online. So this one D+, and then it was Xbox, which was just a stunning showcase. So
that's probably why it was so empty of stuff, because Xbox sucked up all those game releases.
Yeah, could be. They bought them all.
And didn't allow them to be on this show. So maybe that's one of the reasons.
I did like the first Descendant. I think it's a looter shooter, which I love. So I'm probably in just based on that. But then the trailer they did with the M83 song, I even Shazammed it because I was like, damn, this is a good song. It just went so well with the visuals. So I can definitely see why you guys picked that one. I'm definitely looking forward to playing it as well. But my best of show, I would have to give to No More Room in Hell Part 2. Now, did you guys ever play No More Room in Hell Part 1?
Nope.
No.
Yeah, me either. I have no clue what Part 1 is. But this looked fantastic. So it is...
That was funny.
8-player zombie horde with permadeath. And so I'm guessing, and they say you start like the map without any elements and then dark, and you're kind of scattered, and you have to come together and find... I'm guessing you build a base and fend off hordes and stuff like this. So this is, I love zombies. I love multiplayer. I'm so horrified by permadeath, but I'm down with it, especially the way that State of Decay does it. So they do it a really good way. So I'm down with this, and I think this is really cool, and I look forward to forcing you both to play with me. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I thought the trailer looked sweet. I thought some of the action sequences were really cool. Like, I loved the axe swinging and just like smashing zombie heads. So I think it looks sweet. I like how it's like eight players in a big map. I think that is awesome. That's a good idea. I'm hoping it isn't like small, it showed some different locations, so I think that's not going to be a problem. I think it'll be fun with 8 people running around on a map doing crazy stuff. It'll be a good time.
Any game that finally gets you to invite me to play with you, Dan, is a win in my book.
Called out.
I look forward to ignoring those invites.
Oh, sweet.
It looks fun. It looks fun. I'll play it.
Agreed. And it says it will be in early access this Halloween. So I will definitely be following up on that one because it's definitely, I think, the game of the show for me. I think overall, the show struggled to explain why it is important and should exist. I know it because third-party developers need a showcase for themselves. And Jeff Keighley does a phenomenal job putting this on. But the games just weren't there this year. And unfortunately, if the games aren't there, the show doesn't need to be as long as it was. So that's where I really fault the show, is that it just didn't have the muscle power to entertain. And frankly, a lot of these games were forgettable. And then, of course, Xbox comes along and really just wipes the floor with them. So I would say probably D- as well.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, let's wrap things up here. Please make sure you're subscribed to our socials, and on YouTube, hit that like button. On behalf of the Good Playing crew, Matt Lord, Matt Maulding, and myself, Dan Whitehill, have a great weekend. And as always, good playing with you.
Good playing with you.
Good playing with you.